on, Audrey. But before she comes on, yeah, I want to check in on how everyone's doing, how your weekend was. I know there's a lot going on. We're in a retrograde, like super high season of retrograde. This is like pretty epic levels of planets doing the retrograde shuffle. So I guess first, let's check in. How was anything good or noteworthy happened this weekend? Let me know. Hi, Gabriella. Good morning. This weekend we had the moon in Pisces all weekend. So that with the retrogrades can make us super like emotional feeling, just very liquid, flowy. I know I made time. Saturday was a very Saturn day for me. I went on a long hike with my partner, and then I did two back-to-back readings for a member of our community and her friend, and it was so fun. But really, like, worked all day Saturday, and then Sunday was a true sun day. I had like just spent a long morning ceremony with some of my shaman friends, like talking and catching up. We set some intentions for the month ahead. And then I actually, like, my partner surprised me and I got a body work, like a massage from someone who's seeing people. And then I got an energy session from my friend Jamie, my personal healer, Lexi Eve. And so yesterday I just felt like, oh, and then my life wizard, we decided to, in honor of Venus retrograde this weekend, we decided to recommit to just like romance and recommit to our relationship. We've been having definitely an amazing time in quarantine. We like get along so well and we love like cooking together and being at home and just being cozy. But I think on Saturday with Venus retrograde, we both were talking about like, we kind of do miss like getting dressed up and going out. And obviously normally we are very big into like date nights and we have our routine of bars and restaurants we love to go to. And I love a dress up moment. So on Saturday night, we spent the night redigesting and reviewing some of our favorite memories and the past year. And it was a really nice, I'm going to talk about it on my Instagram later, but Venus retrograde, I know we can't do the things we would normally do, but it's Venus and Gemini, like talking things out, reviewing some of the best memories, trips you've gone on, even just like talking about sexy memories. Like it's a very it's a big dose of medicine right now. And also you guys saw, or maybe didn't see, but I put that redefining boundaries is going to be really important for Venus retrograde. Esther Perel was talking about this the other day. Like, normally we have boundaries from our partners. We go to work, we come home, we have it just, we go out to eat. And now we're doing everything like all in one spot, right? We're like, so I'm just laughing because it's so true and funny. So Venus retrograde, I invite you, like, if you live with a partner, it's just trying to mix up your boundaries a little bit. Like, okay, we're really going to stop working at this time. And we're not going to, we're going to clear the table and reset it in a new way for dinner. Or we're going to spend these many hours apart during the day while we work and only meet up for meals. I think relationships really thrive under clear boundaries. So one of the things to be in retrograde, we did that. We talked about all redigested, some fun, playful, sexy memories Saturday night. And then Sunday, I guess inspired by the Venus and Gemini talk, my life wizard, my fiance, he said, we're going to do a date night. We're going to do just, do your energy session with Jamie, spend time upstairs for like 2 hours, and I'm going to pick you up for a date. And I was like, okay. He's like, like get dressed and like put on a dress. So we did that. He picked me up at the front door and we just drove around the block and ended up back in our backyard. But he had set the table so nice. And it was really fun. And we just had a really great conversation. And we had like sat for hours at the dinner table. And again, I have no complaints about quarantine. It's been so nice just to like be cozy and watch movies and read our books. But I think this Venus and Gemini, it is like, how can we revisit certain things? So talking, having really long conversations with our partner or our dear friends, I know me and my shaman friends were talking a lot about words yesterday and how we're revisiting thoughts and words and kind of writing from a place that feels really true within us. And this is going to be a cosmic boss thing we're going to talk about tonight. Then with your partner, revisiting old memories, or if you're on your own and you're solo, revisiting, yeah, like writing, revisiting photos of some of the most pleasurable parts of your life, most pleasurable memories, and also like revisiting things you used to do. Like I love getting dressed up. So it was so fun last night to like curl my hair and put on makeup. So just, again, as always with all of my cosmic advice, it's like take what resonates, leave the rest, my cosmic cuties. But there really is this retrograde medicine. I was really feeling it this weekend. And I want to invite you all with retrogrades. Sometimes it's like, you know, the things that come up are things that feel old, things that we feel like we've worked past, things that we feel like, I thought I was kind of done feeling that. But the thing about emotions and feelings is they're not linear, they're not logical, they can't be processed or analyzed or um, like put in a neat little box. Like, oh, I figured it out and I'm done. Feelings sometimes just live in your body. So something happens, someone lets you down, you get frustrated, something emotional happens and it stirs up an old feeling in your body, right? Like, ooh, I felt this way when I was like 9 and I was 11 and when I was 25, my first job. And, whatever this feeling is, I last week had some feelings of just old emotions I haven't felt in a long time. And I realized that, yeah, I'm growing and my container is growing and I'm being asked to step into the next level of my life. So this opportunity, like it's hard to remember a feeling until we feel it. Does that make sense? I'm going to talk a lot about music probably during this Venus retrograde too, because music helps us remember feelings, right? Like, we're fine, we're good. That old heartbreak doesn't bother us. I don't miss that old friend. I don't feel this way. And then we put on a song, especially a song we listen to during that chapter of our life, and we're like, whoosh, just brought back to that moment, right? So there's something about feeling that they like live in us and they live dormant. And I was talking about with Jamie in my session last night. She's like, our brains are so good and quick at processing things, especially if we've been on a personal development path and we know the tools and we know how to move through something and have conscious awareness. But even however consciously aware we are of something, it still lives in us. That's the thing. It never escapes. I don't care how awakened, how enlightened, how elevated you are, you still have emotions in your body and feelings when you go through something, when you get that frustration, when you get that text that disrupts your day, when you get that like, ooh, bolt of like sadness or loneliness that hits you, you can consciously go through the steps and figure out, why did I feel that? What do I need? How do I self-soothe? But the truth of the matter is the energy still like erupts in your body. So finding, having ways of releasing that and ways of working through that is something I'm going to be talking about a lot. But it's also great because we can't acknowledge that we have a feeling or an unprocessed emotion in our body until we feel it. And I love that this Venus retrograde cycle really started, within Taurus season. So we have a few days of Taurus energy of like, yeah, what is my body feeling? Like, what is the thing that makes my stomach in a knot? What is the thing that gives me a flush of anxiety? What is the thing that makes my chest feel really, like my heart feel really heavy? And by sitting with this, we have the ability in Venus and Gemini to like sit with it and work through it in a deeper way, in a deeper way. Like, I'm never saying you're never gonna have that emotion ever again. But when you sit with it during a retrograde cycle and the thing bubbles up, instead of pushing it down, being like, okay, what are you here to teach me about? Okay, you're here to teach me that I've been moving a little too fast. I need to honor my boundaries more or self advocate more, or I need to, find a way to express myself more, or whatever the lesson is that when you talk to that emotion. So I think retrogrades are a beautiful invitation of like whatever bubbles up is something that you've been meaning to work on anyway, but without having that raw voltage of emotion, like you wouldn't really probably deal with it or process it or move it through your body. Um, and for the week, we have a really delicious moon week. We have the week's ending on the new moon. And we have like long moon cycles for the week. Like we have today's an Aries moon. We're all going to be like, this is the beginning of the new lunar cycle. We're all about, movement today, taking action. It's going to be amazing. And then feeling really like the I, the me, what do you want to do? How do you want to lead yourself? And then moving into like midweek, we'll have the moon in Taurus, so some of that yummy, delicious in your body energy. Definitely making time for some self-care midweek will be good. And then we have the moon in Gemini, which is going to be a new moon. And the new moon in Gemini is going to bring in like, I'm going to talk about it more, but it's going to bring in like a breath of fresh air, an effervescence, an energy, like an electric bolt to us, an awareness of like, okay, there's something in my life that I need to recommit to with my intentions. I need to reframe. I need to reconsider. These are all these not Mercury, oh my God, these are all these retrograde re's right now. So the new moon is going to bring, I think, a chance to really recommit to partnerships and relationship healing, because Gemini partnerships, and it's going to recommit to our message. What's our truth? What's our truest story? And finding that in a new, vibrant, like delicious, technicolor way. Like, what's our truest story in this moment? Not the stuff that we don't know, not the future stuff. But if any of you is reading Brene Brown on Team, she talks about this a lot, like the truest story in the moment. And it just feels very new moon in Gemini. So we have a beautiful chance later this week to set some intentions around the next 6 months, around communications, around partnership, and around obviously the unique area where that new moon will transit your chart. And I'll be recording some YouTube videos on that later this week. And if you're in the Cosmic AF community, we'll be having a new moon live ceremony where we're gonna, pull some cards, set intentions, look at the astrology, look at your personal astrology for the new moon. And of course, we always end with a guided journey to go in and connect into a deeper place within us. So how does that sound? Also, this week, we're gonna have a ton of Neptune activity, like Neptune squaring all over the place. And some of it's going to be really beautiful, and some of it's going to make us feel really emotional. And so that with the retrogrades, this is a week to like literally let things flow through you. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream in a pillow, something I did yesterday, spoiler alert, in my healing session with Jamie, scream in that goddamn pillow. If you need to, like, if you have art or a story that is on your heart, let it out. This is the week, I think it's like Meryl Streep, no, not Meryl Streep, Carrie Fisher said, like, take your pain and turn it into art. This is a week where, like, what do you want to express yourself? How do you want to do something, whether it's through photography, through writing, through a creative project, through storytelling, through podcasting, through YouTubing. We are blessed with so many platforms. But this week, the Neptune energy is going to ask us to like create and move energy and take our story and make it into something for us to digest and for something for us to appreciate with awe and wonder. And I shared a Mary Oliver quote this weekend on my personal Instagram, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was like instructions for life. It was like experience life, appreciate it with awe, and then tell me about it. Like, tell me about it. That is so Venus and Gemini. That is so retrograde. This is so it. So your heart has a story. And this week, with all of this new moon energy and then all of the Neptune energy, it's going to be like, what wants to move through you? What story do you want to tell? And what I love about creative expression is there's no limits and there's no bounds and there's no wrong way of doing it. It's just whatever feels true to you. That could be expressing yourself through how you dress. Like I said, do a self-timer photo shoot, write something, draw something, commit to like a journaling practice. So if you guys want any more information on that, obviously come to the new moon ceremony, join our Cosmic AF community. We always offer like a 3-day free trial to see if you like it. So that goes down on, that'll be Thursday. Oh my God, I cannot keep track of time right now. That'll be Thursday night. I believe we're going to be doing that. And the new moon's on Friday. So I think that's my cosmic energy spiel for the week. We'll be going into more the nitty gritty. And, I'm going to have Audrey on in a few minutes and we're going to have a little chat. But definitely the retrograde, it's obviously in the Instagram, the dates, and I give me those little infographics. Use them as a guide, really. Like, retrogrades are not scary, but they are an invitation. And like everything, it's always my ocean analogy. We can choose to swim against the current and wonder why we're so effing tired and why things are so confusing. But we can also, like, when we are aware of the currents of energy, we can swim through it. We can like swim with it and use the energy to bring us somewhere farther and faster and with more flow and with more grace and ease. Okay, Audrey. So Audrey, I don't know if you've done that, you request to be live in the video. Sometimes you have to log out and log back in to the live, and then you say request to be in the video. IG Lives. I've never learned so much about IG Live before this quarantine. I feel like I am all about the IG Live now. Okay, I'm trying to fit. Oops, oh my God, I am just on my YouTube showing off my cleavage. Okay. Oh, Dre, that's so cool. Your guide said the same thing. That's good. The wind analogy is very good. Hi, Audrey. Audrey, hi. Don't get mad at me. I'm always struggling with the YouTube setup, and I went to go move this, and I literally just put the YouTube camera down my dress. So there's like 5 minutes of just my cleavage. So you're welcome, YouTube.
Thank you.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
It's so fun to see you in this setting. I see you all the time, but this is hi, everyone. This is Audrey. She is the co-babe of the revolution. She is my life. She is my cosmic wife. She is
I'm the translator.
The translator. She's the reason that we are here. She is the reason why I've done anything on technology ever. So without Audrey, I would just be in the woods sending out a smoke signal. So Audrey, why don't you give a little intro to everyone? Hi.
Sure. Hi. So, yeah, Maddie was doing moon circles in Montauk, and we have like a similar group of friends, and I just saw so many magical things happen in those moon circles, and I was like, dude, you got to take this to the next level. So I am a photographer, and I love doing videos and just being like super creative, and I just saw, for all of you who don't know, I saw what Maddie was doing, and was like, we need to put this on a platform where people can experience it beyond just Montauk. So now we're business partners, taking it to the next level, which is awesome. We've been doing this for 2 years.
So great.
And I feel like the first year we were just like trying to figure out exactly how we were going to do it. Then the second year it was like talking to everyone, telling them how we were going to do it. And now we're actually doing it. So
actually doing it, which is such a good lesson for anyone out there starting a business or a brand. Like, it just takes time. And in the first year of your business, you're just like listening, like, what do people want? How do people want to do? Like, you're synthesizing so much, and then you figure it out, but then you actually, it takes another little bit of time to actually do it. So
I know. And we've had so many conversations of being like, but we want to do this and we want to do that. And we just like wish that we were doing so many things. And it's really cool to be in the place where we're actually doing everything that we talked about like 2 years ago, where people would be like, oh, maybe you should do like live webinars or do live YouTube videos. And we're like, we know.
We're trying. Yes. That's like something as a young business, everyone has like advice for you. And it's like, I know, I want to do that. We're just figuring it out. Like, it's like, so I think that's such good advice. And I know so many people who follow along here in Instagram, so obviously our Cosmic Boss community, I think everyone that's drawn to our community is very purpose driven and doing something on their own, whether it's a creative project or a brand or a business or, healing or coaching services. So I feel like that's really just good, probably like nourishing advice to hear. Like it just takes that time and enjoy the ride. Like if we had rushed it and tried to do everything all at once, it'd be so out of alignment. Like I feel like we learned so much along the way,
True.
right?
There were so many times where we were like, even I remember when we were trying to do like ritual kits, for example, and we were like, oh, should we put Palo Santo in them? I don't know. And then we decided not, and then something happened. There was like some block where it was taking so long to get them together. And then like a month later, there was so much press around how people were over farming Palo Santo. We're like, oh, good thing we didn't do that.
Yes.
And it, like the blocks kept being like shifting us to go a different direction and just following that. And,
yes. Trusting the block as our blessing is literally our number one mantra behind just saying that we are the cat gif of the cat moving really fast on the keyboard. But I feel like if there's one thing that we say over and over again, it's like our block is our blessing. Yeah. Because like 3 years ago, we're like, yeah, we'll make a ritual kit. And we kept feeling a little blocked around it. And then we saw what happened with like the over harvesting of Palo Santo. And I was like, I'm so happy that we were blocked on that. Like, I'm so happy that didn't work out because, you know, we obviously strive to live like in integrity with what we're doing. So I think that everyone hearing that, such good advice. Like if something's not working or something's blocked or you feel like kind of that procrastinating energy, we're like, why can't I get this going? It may be a form of intuition or a form of your guides working with you.
Totally. I just saw a comment that was like saying how they need another person like Audrey to come into my life.
Okay, that's also a mantra in my friend group. Everyone's like, I need an Audrey. Everyone's like, hey, an Audrey.
Well, okay, so I was listening to the podcast of the people who started like a co-working space. And one of the guys was like, I don't really like being the person that has all the attention, but I like being next to the person who gets all the attention. And that's totally me. And if you guys are like trying to start a business or trying to do something and you feel like you don't want to do it on your own and you want someone that is like your business partner and holding you accountable, there definitely are people out there like me who want to be creative and have a vision and want to be successful and take things to the next level, but not necessarily want to be in the front of it. Like I believe in everything that Maddie says and does, and feel like I can put you in a room with anyone and you would win them over. And I just like want to be there for it and witness it happen. So there are definitely a lot of people like that. It's just a matter of making sure that you choose the right person, right? Because before I met you, I had so many different ideas about things that I wanted to do, but then like when I would start doing it, it would be like, oh no, maybe that's not the right thing. So then when we started working together, we just like were in the flow and we went with it.
We jumped. I remember when I met you, I was like, have I known you my whole life? Like, I feel like our first time hanging out, we were just like, I was like, so we're like little kids doing this. And we just like held hands and like jumped off the deep end into it. We're like, let's go. I know. Oh, that's so, that's such a good thing to be able to hear. And I think that's a good, again, it's like the balance of business of like, and the appreciation of like, yeah, sometimes there's a person who wants to be like doing the Instagram lives, even though they don't ever do their hair or anything for it. And then, and I think there's something about us, again, listening to a podcast also, that they're like, if you're growing, it's better to like almost have like a part of something that grows really big versus 100% of something that doesn't go anywhere. And so this was their invitation in this like business podcast to find a partner and like find a partner that you're like, and kind of write down what you want in that partner. Like I knew I wanted someone who was in line with me spiritually, energetically, emotionally, like first and foremost, because I'm like, I can't explain all of this to someone new. Like, and I mean, and this was like years ago, and I thought it would take me like 10 years to find someone like that. And I remember watching, one time I was in Montauk in my juice shop, and I was watching these women who own this place, Cat Beauty. And then these two women, and they were so cute. And they were like, all right, we're finishing up our day, which was like super stressful, like summer, like pop-up shop day. And they were like, okay. And they all had white dresses on. And they're like, I'm going to go to the farm stand and get your favorite vegetables. You go home and get my bathing suit. And then we'll meet for like our sunset dip. And then we'll grill together. And I was like, can I have a business partner like that one day? And then the universe and spirit delivered me you. So I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, I mean, what else? I feel like we have so many things that people would love to pick your brain on like this journey we've been on. And I think the hearts are going off. I've never seen so many hearts in the chat. I mean, maybe when Dre Bay, I mean, I have seen a lot of hearts go off with Dre Bay and Jamie and a lot of like the guests we've had on, but definitely not as many hearts going off when I'm talking alone about taking like responsibility for our energy and stuff like that. So I think that maybe we even make this, I'm already thinking ahead, like a regular thing. I feel like we've learned so much about starting like an aligned, intentional brand, and you've learned so much, like trial by fire of learning so much about business. I think it'd be fun to have an ongoing like chat with you about this, and people can ask
I can tell you
questions.
guys about all the mistakes that I made, that we've made. Just there are a lot. I mean, Maddie and I have started this business with really our own resources, and we're like, okay, we're just going to try to we have to like, we can't take money from other people, right? We have to figure out how to have a business where we can like, it can be self-sustaining and it can run itself. And so that has been an intention of ours to figure out like, how can we really make this work, but also stay in alignment with our intentions and like what we really want. And we have had some really amazing advice from other people about what we should do and where we should go. But Maddie and I have been like very, I guess I shouldn't say stubborn, but we've stayed really true to what our vision is. And I think that we have surrounded ourselves with people who can see it as well. And they're like, okay, giving us really good advice of how to do it. But we have also had to be really scrappy, and it's taken a long time for certain things to become successful. But yeah, I'm happy to share some of those things that those struggles that we've had, and also the positive outcomes that have happened with that. Like, for example, we made our astrology widget where we had done a class at Soho House. Maddie was doing self-care for astrology for self-care and teaching people how to use their sun sign and their moon sign and their Mars and their Mercury. And I'm learning all of these things too. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. We have to give it access to everyone to like this formula. So what we did is we had one of my friends, Nathaniel Gibson, turn it into a little widget or calculator that you could go online and do this. And there were so many struggles with it. And the story is that basically after this class, we got it to go online about like 4 months later using a programmer. And then I didn't like the fonts. I didn't like so many of these things, so we didn't share it with anyone. And it was like done in June. And then I showed it to someone in maybe October. And like Alicia Kelly, I was like, what do you think of this? And she's like, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, I love decoding my birth chart. This is so cool. It made it so simple. And then I showed it to a few other friends, and I was like, I don't know. I don't want to show it to people. I'm too like embarrassed. I don't know if it like represents our brand. And then in January, you posted it on Instagram, and it just like blew up. I think we got like 2 million requests on our website in 1 week. And we were like, holy shit, this is crazy.
I know, we're like, what?
We were getting thousands of emails of people being like, my birth chart's wrong, or how come my thing won't calculate? And like, people were sending us like angry emails, and we're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We just made it for fun. But we also learned a lot about our audience. And, you know, if we hadn't tried to, I guess the lesson there was like a lot of people were pissed off, and I'm sure a lot of you still are pissed off that
we're still figuring it.
don't work. And it's taken us, about a month to figure out how to get the programmer to fix things and how to also keep everybody happy. And it's a lot of work behind the scenes. But yeah, so at least now we know that people are really interested in what we're doing.
Yeah. So it's such a good, like, that whole story was so wild. And it's so funny because like we made it as this thing, like we'll just use this for like our events and like how we people to understand their birth chart and make a fun little tool. and it kind of blew up. And it's, what they call in business is a champagne problem. Like when you have too much growth and we don't have like necessarily the infrastructure to support it, where we were like, I think people thought we were this big, huge corporation, and they're like, why is this thing wrong? And we're like, we're just two people like figuring this out. We wanted to make something fun. But it's so, I think a good lesson out of this is, taking a risk of like, okay, like this isn't totally how we'd want to present it. Because, you and I maybe would have waited another like 2 years till it was perfect. But hearing the feedback from people and having people you trust and can ask their advice, because when you're in the loop as the creators, you just get so in the perfectionist loop. Or so having someone else from the outside, like shout out Alicia Kelly for being like, yeah, like this is awesome, like share it with the world. And then just be okay with messing up. I mean, I'm a Virgo, and all of my Virgo tendencies are like, I never want to be criticized. I never want to do anything wrong. I just want things to be perfect. But that's not how you grow. Growth is messy. Growth is chaos. So like, I think just owning that a little bit. But yeah, that was really a wild ride. And again, just shout out to Audrey, because Audrey just I would say her superpower is the cosmic connecting. Like she connects with people and finds people. But I also was thinking about this past week. I'm like, the cosmic connector energy in you also like wants to expand and grow. And like you figure out how to take something like and use it, but then bring it to like 10x, 100x the amount of people. Like, you were always telling me about YouTube and all these things that I had such resistance to. And like, but it's true. So that's really cool. And Dre had a great question that we could answer if we have time.
Sure. The only thing that I just want to add to what you're saying is that sometimes I get like right now, I feel like a puppy where I'm like, there's so many things that I want to do, that I want to create. And there's so many things that you have created and written. And the calculator, the cosmic calculator, is one tool that we created that I'm like, wait, we still have 1,000 more things that I'm trying to put onto a platform and get out there. So I'm excited. We have like 10 years of content ahead of us.
We have so much. I mean, for all of you, obviously, we love hearing from you. I would love like, market research focus group and people who watch these lives. Like, what do you want more of? What do you love to learn about? Because Audrey and I are sitting on like a vault, like in a movie, like Duck McScrooge, like vault of gold coins, are like things that like, I've written things, we've produced ideas we have, and it's more about just one, figuring out intuitively, like, is this good for our audience? Is this aligned? Is it going to serve our community? And then also like, how do we deliver to the world? And what's our bandwidth? We're just two people. So we have a lot. We have like 10 years of content and products. So.
And everything has to be approved by Alicia Kelly.
Everything, we'll bring it to Alicia Kelly. She's our Cancer who just checks in intuitively with the energy.
She's like, that doesn't make sense.
And go, yeah. Yes. Also in business is being open to feedback. I think we've done some things where, especially anyone who's watching, who's doing business in a field or a brand of something that feels a little bit newer and something that feels really expansive. Someone, Colleen Kelly, another Kelly, not Alicia Kelly, but Colleen Kelly, was asking me this weekend about like, do I have to bring my niche down to something so specific? And I was like, no, like that's an old business myth that I want to debunk. You have to bring your energy down to a specific thing. Like, who do you want to talk to? What do you want the energy to feel like? But you don't have to pick like, oh, I do one thing and that's it. The world isn't that way anymore. Like we are multi-passionate, multi-potentialite, holistic beings. But you do need to have like people who will give you feedback, because when you're doing something expansive in your mind, it's like the cosmos are swirling in the ocean and you're like, and to me, like, I mean, I saw the vision for this brand like the day we started working together, but it's taken me like up to like today years old, until I'm like, yeah, it's like easy to explain and people are starting to kind of get it. But I was like, I want to help align people with like astrology, but also using like psychology and a calendar and helping with self-love and the divine feminine. And you were just like, okay, like we can do all of this. And then you started to get it, but we would try to explain it to people that we'd meet and our advisors and our mentors, and people were like, what are you doing? Like, they're so confused.
And the comment that we get the most is, I think you guys are doing too much.
Yeah.
I think you're trying too many things. Maybe you should just focus on like a few things. We're like, we would just focus on the YouTube, but we can't do that. We have too many things that we need to do.
Yeah, so I think having people you listen to and give you good advice, but also like staying true to what feels really good for you. And also just knowing like um I'm always a big fan of like the container for the sacred masculine energy, like something that feels organized. Your weekly routine, how you're delivering this on your platform, something, and then letting the divine feminine like flow within that. I think you and I, once we figured out our flow of like this is we want to do a weekly YouTube and it's going to be centered around this. And then we had like a structure for our, community, for our moon circles. Like the more structure you can kind of add into the process, I feel like the more space it allows for like flow to come through in a way that feels like not overwhelming, but like nourishing.
I just read Dre's question. How do you stay aligned with your values and business in a world that may operate in ways that are contrary to those values? So I think that we're pretty good at putting, well, for one, knowing that there is enough room for us, for everyone in the world. Like there's not just one way of doing things. And we just kind of like put our blinders on and just do what we think is the best thing for us. What we do stay true to those values. Sometimes there are certain things that are really difficult for us because we're doing things for the first time. So like packaging, for example, when we first started out, we were using we have like plastic for our crystals, but we didn't see them as single-use plastic. We saw it as like, okay, using it as a bag that you use every time for your crystals. And I feel like we kind of messed up there where we should have just been using fabric from the beginning. But I do think we learn from our community, but I do also think that there is room for everyone. If what we're doing is going to attract the people that resonate with what we do, right? I mean, you can say it better than me, Maddie.
Yeah, you said it beautifully, baby. I love you. Yeah, and I think, just to go off of Dre's question and what you just said beautifully is like, um, we're talking about in Cosmic Boss, like what are your core values? What do you want to stand for? What do you want in your brand? Who do you want to be in the world? And then you really just try to stay true to that and just trust the process of like, I could do this faster, cheaper, easier, and I could grow faster and make more money quickly, but I'm not going to attract my people that I want to work with me. And yeah, maybe some people are not operating in alignment. And that kind of sucks when you have a business or a brand and you're trying to do things the right way and people around you are not doing it the right way and taking shortcuts or just not caring about the integrity. You're like, oh yeah, well, of course you're growing fast because you're just like doing these things. But it's like, okay, that's not me, like that's a comparison thing. I'm like, that I don't even want that. I don't want that type of whatever that success feels like. And then in a world like this
It's
whole
also easy for us because our mission is to help people, right? Our mission is to empower people. So we know that it's the right thing. There's no
yeah,
question about what we're doing. It's like we're trying so hard to listen to our audience, how we can empower them. And we're using all of the tools that we have. I'm using every ounce of creativity that I have in order to make what we do attractive. But at the end of the day, I do know that what we're doing is meant to really make the world a better place. Like, I know it sounds cheesy, but that is really what we want. We want people to feel like they can be themselves and be strong and empowered and show up for people in their lives and creating space for other people. So it's like, honestly, it's really not that hard when you are doing the right thing. If there was any question to what we were doing, it would be much difficult to be like, oh, are our values aligned with,
yeah,
what is the world going to think? We're kind of like, well, no, we're just trying to show up and help people. And if people are going to criticize us, I really just don't care.
yeah, right. It's alignment, it's flow. And I think the gift of words right now with Venus and Gemini retrograde, it's like, what are your words? Like when when we like came up with the word or like it hit us, the word of empowerment, because like, yeah, I don't even like the word healer. Like that's too like preachy to me, or I don't know. I'm like, when we came up with the word empowerment, I was like, yes, like this is what we do. We want to put power back into people through tools, through resources, through community, through humor, and just feel like you're empowered to be fully you in the world. And once we came up with that word, it was like, to me, it felt like things slipped away. Like I didn't have to worry about doing certain things everyone else was doing, or worry about pleasing everyone. It just felt like we're here to empower and like nothing else, kind of like, and that's that word thing. And then the last thing I'll say to Dre's comment is we're making the new world right now. You know, we're in Saturn and Aquarius. It's about to go full blown this winter. We're in it right now, retrograde. Then it goes back into Capricorn. But like the new realm of like purpose driven, heart centered leaders, thinkers, entrepreneurs, creatives, like we're shaping the world right now. And like we get to do it across these platforms. So it's kind of cool. Like we're shaping the world as we're living in our own alignment, if that makes sense. Um, let's see, everyone. I love everyone's comments. So good. No, I love the word. Oh, she is fuerte has a good question. I'll
Okay.
pitch you. I'll throw it to you. Oh, you're gonna throw it to
Okay. Yeah, go.
I'll throw it to you, Audrey. How do you combine your passions and dreams with your partners without feeling like you have to sacrifice your dreams?
Well, part of it is just having, I've talked about this a lot with Colleen, but upward spiraling, where when like feeding off of each other, right? So like anytime that I have an idea or Maddie has an idea, we kind of vibe off of each other, where she's like, okay, I think we should do this. And my mentality is like, okay, what can I do to help it's always like, what can I do to empower my business partner and like try to see the same vision as her dreams? So then when she has a vision, I try to go with it and say like, okay, how can I take it to the next level? Like, what's the next level of that? And then she does the same thing. It's like, okay, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. And we're both totally committed to expanding with each other. And we have very similar dreams, I guess. Like we align.
Yes.
So that's like a big thing, right? So if we were like always clashing, or we have a different vision, or we didn't understand each other, or our perspectives were like completely off, it would be really a struggle. But we just were in the flow with each other, so it's really easy. Like when Maddie's telling me an idea that she has, I'm already envisioning of how I can put it into a way that you guys can experience. And it goes the other way too. Like sometimes I tell Maddie, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll tell her an idea of something that we should do. Like we're thinking about doing a 1-day retreat or a week-long retreat just online. And then she's like, okay, maybe we should get this person and this person. And we're like just vibing off each other and go. And then all of a sudden the dream that you had is even bigger because you come up with something together that you never could have gotten to on your own.
Mm-hmm. Upward spiraling. I love that. And my cousin always talks about the ecstasy of co-creation. Like really two minds are better than one. Like, I mean, it's sometimes there's the idea of like, okay, you know, I don't want a partner who's going to come and like poo my ideas or constrict me or restrict me. And that's where, again, alignment is really important, your core values. That's how you're going to attract your partner. Like I met Audrey because I had my alignment for what I wanted to do with my goddess circles, my moon circles that I used to do. And I still do them just in different capacity. And Audrey like felt something like this feels good to me. Like this feels like something I've been looking for too. And then once we started mashing up, also birth charts are a big part of this. I'm a Pisces moon. Audrey's a Pisces sun. So we always joke that like we don't even need to use words sometimes. Like we'll be stuttering over ourselves, like all excited, like we should do this, but not like this. And Audrey's like, I get it. And I'm like, yeah, these words are hard. That's our Pisces energy of like our words are hard sometimes. But like your alignment, and I would say like don't force it. Like a business partner who doesn't get you and your personality and your vision, it's like marriage. That's gonna be an upward slog, not an upward spiral. It's not gonna feel good. But once you get aligned with someone, then from there it's the alchemy, the ecstasy of co-creation. It's like, oh, we can do more together, and it brings it to life. So
and also I think what's important for us is feeling comfortable and open to tell each other when we don't want to do something, like, or having boundaries, sometimes I'll be like, Maddie, we should do this. And she's like, mm-mm.
Communication, yes.
She'll say no. And I'm like, okay, we're not doing it.
And then Audrey respects me and likewise, but I love it. I mean, really like partnership, we're talking about new moon in Gemini this week. It's gonna be all about relationships and partnership. Like a business partnership is a marriage. Like I call Audrey my cosmic wifey, and it's just true. Like we spend so much time together. Sometimes we have to hold space for each other for things that have nothing to do with the business. And also we have to like keep recommitting to like our communication and recommitting to like gassing each other up because we're also just humans. So we're gonna like doubt ourselves. And I mean, I would not be doing this if it wasn't for Audrey because I'm just like a little awkward Virgo Pisces moon running around. But Audrey's like, you did great on that live, even when the thing cut out and you couldn't get back on. It was great. And I'm like, okay, thank you, wifey. So I think like communicating and boundaries, but also like encouraging each other and really learn how to communicate because you have a vision here in your head and you have to be able to like tell another person about it. So it's a practice. But
Dre asked, what do you think of people saying that you shouldn't start a business with your friends? I'm just going to answer that and tell you that we didn't have a choice. It's not even something that we've ever thought about. It's just like, we didn't even think about a lot of the business stuff at the beginning. We were just like doing it. We're like, okay, let's get this message out. And then later we were like, oh, maybe we should like file an LLC and like, maybe we should get an accountant, and all of that stuff kind of happened naturally. And yeah, it's not like we weren't sitting around being like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to start a business. What should I do? It kind of happened the other way where we were like, okay, we need to do this. We need to do this as fast as we can, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, very mission driven. Hi, so many fun honeys in here. I also love that boundary setting emoji from Dre. And yeah, it's back to the world building thing too that we talked about, this like new wave of business coming in. To me, the mission driven business model is like, it's less about like sitting down, I have a business, let's do like the kind of more traditional structures of business, like get the LLC, figure it out. But it's more like, as we talk about the cosmic boss, like what lights me up? Like what is the thing that's in me that needs to come out into the world? And I have no choice but to like be a channel for it. And then linking up with a friend who's similar is fine. I mean, also in my chart, like all of my business stuff is so tied to like friends and family. Like I love working with friends and family. It's like what I've been doing for the past like 7 or 8 years. So I think that's like a personal thing, but I think with friends, it's great if you're aligned and you have communications and you trust each other. Alignment, communication, trust. Just made that up on the spot. So I'm going to file that away for later.
But I just was thinking about what you were saying before about retrograde and all of these old feelings coming back and being like, okay, how is this a lesson? Where do I need to have stronger boundaries? And actually for me, I must have been born with planets in retrograde, because every time retrograde season comes, I'm like, feel so inspired. Every time I've been listening to like the weirdest songs that I normally would just like push next on the radio, and I'm like, oh, I just thought of a whole music video from the 80s that I could have made. Like, and if I had heard that song a month ago, I probably wouldn't have cared at all.
Like Meeting in My Bed. Our Taurus season theme song.
Yes, exactly.
There's a meeting in my bed. There's a meeting in my bed.
A Zoom meeting.
A Zoom meeting in my bed. So what's inspiring you right now? What are you excited for with the business and you're personally? You are such a creative, like, I mean, just to give everyone kind of blow up your astrology big three for a second. You're Pisces, yes. Gemini, Leo. So it's like, I feel like you are just meant to flow and create and then put something out in the world. So yeah, like, what's inspiring you? What are you excited for?
Also, my midheaven is in Taurus too.
So welcome.
So, and I think my North Node is in Taurus. So I think really what I'm excited about is, like I have been since day one, just taking everything that we're doing and putting it on a platform that's accessible for everyone. We have tried, our mission is to make sure that everything we do is affordable and accessible and but also set up in a way that makes people show up for themselves and commits to the work that they're doing, but also like just making it so fun and making it accessible, and not just financially, but also so that people can resonate with the message that we're sharing. And yeah, I'm just excited to see kind of where all of this goes. Like, I really, in the future, will probably have one platform where we have everything, like an app. And I just want to build this community so that people feel like they can thrive and they feel safe and inspired and bring in like pleasure and joy. And I can tell you that it's kind of like the work that we have done together. It's kind of like your life goes from black and white to color. And it really is. Like, sometimes things are harder when you're more aware.
That's an understatement.
Everything, yes. It can be very difficult, but at the same time, the reward is just it's worth it. It really is. And I want to be able to offer that to everyone. I know so many people that are like, I remember hearing, this is part of the reason why I started working with you, is I was really into meditation, and so many people were like, oh, I want to start meditating, but they don't even know where to start. And I was at this, like, the first time that I went to a meditation circle with a lot of people, they were like, oh, what type of meditation do you practice? And everyone like went around with a mic and talked about like different types of meditation.
Worst nightmare.
I was like, there's different types of meditation. And someone like handed me the mic, and I just repeated what someone else said. I was like, oh, Vedic meditation. And then someone else was like, I do mindful meditation. Someone else was like, I do TM. And I was like, what the F does all this mean? And so the person who was teaching or leading that meditation, I contacted her after, and I was like, can you teach me what you know about meditation? So I ended up doing her course. It was like a week-long Vedic meditation course, but ever since I've learned so many different styles.
You are the meditation expert.
Understand that there's a difference between mindful meditation, Vedic meditation, transcendental meditation, all these things. And I just really want to make things accessible for people and enjoy it, and not feel like they're under pressure of having to know what the different types are.
Exactly. And that is another reason we connect so much, is because, again, like you're Gemini and Leo in your chart, and your Pisces actually too, and like my North Node's in Gemini, and I feel like we're all about like questioning things and being curious and turning things on its head, but also just having fun. Like, I really feel like laughter. I mean, one of my favorite lines is like, laughter and orgasm are the magic wands of ascension. And I just feel that way. Like, when I'm laughing and I'm learning something, I can feel like, oh yeah, this feels inclusive and fun and accessible. And it like breaks off that like calcified thing that we get as humans where life feels heavy. So I feel like when we shared that right from the beginning, I'm like, okay, good, we get it. Like, we want to do this, and it's serious work because it's transformative, and we're going into our shadows, and we're going into like inner trauma, but also like we can laugh at it because this is like a heavy ass ride of being a human. And also,
hi, I'm Maddie. I'm an astrologer, and Saturn is my leather day. Okay, I can work with you.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, and exactly. And people who like that find us, and people who don't like that, that's okay. They're just not our people. And that's what I love, again, about alignment. I'm so excited for everything we're creating. This might have to be a regular thing. One, I love chatting with you, and I love seeing your face. And I think that these kind of like, especially around the realm of like startup and business and this alignment thing, I think is really important for people to hear right now. And I would love to share all of our mistakes and missteps, because we've made some really funny mistakes or done things that were like, well, that didn't land. And it's just important to share those stories. That was a flop. But like, we see what we had to learn out of that. So I love that.
And also the stories of people really feeling like their life is changing and they're getting the guidance that they need.
Yeah, we've had so many. I mean, we always talk about one of the first YouTube videos we ever made when I was like, I mean, I'm still like very awkward on YouTube videos, but I was like mega awkward on that one. That one that we talked about, the Hall of Flame, and we talked about saving your wins, writing them down, screenshotting, like nice things that come through, gassing yourself up. And I feel like lately we've been returning to the Hall of Flame a lot with our cosmic bosses. And like lately, my like personal and our business hall of flame on my phone is just lit up. I love the stories coming through. Yeah, the DMs, whether it's someone who's never worked with us, but just watched one thing we did, or someone who's been working with us for 4 years, or someone who found the other day, someone texted me at 2 a.m. It was like, I couldn't sleep. I found one of your meditations and I started crying like a baby. And I'm like, wow, amazing. And again, I wouldn't have any of this on any platform or anything for the world to see if it wasn't for Audrey. So
I would be like, oh, you cried like a baby? Me too, every day.
welcome to my life.
From watching a commercial.
So yeah, I'm so excited to share all of that with everybody. And I'm so excited for the things that you're always working behind the scenes. You're always like, okay, how can we bring this out? Do something different, the app. And whatever this app is we're gonna make one day, just watch out, world. It's gonna be so cosmically charged. It might just like light up your whole phones. Awesome. Anything else that you want to share? We have like probably like 3 more minutes. I'm always confused when these things like end. They just end abruptly. So
I mean, not really. Are there? I guess there's no more questions.
Someone.
I wish that.
I know. I wish we could talk forever.
I know. By the way, when Maddie and I are coming up with ideas and we're working on our business, we laugh so much that people think that we'll go to a coffee shop and be talking about like astrology and tarot and like all of these witchy things, and people are like, who are those chicks? And we're like,
like
in our own world,
simultaneously so serious about like margins on price, but then talking about like the Empress card, and then into like a full like SNL shtick about something, and people are just like, okay. I know, it's so fun. And
shout out to Charlie Street.
Shout out to Charlie Street. I mean, our office in the city, our coffee shop we work out of. And just to like kind of sum up everything we said, someone asked a really good question about how do you know when it's time to leave a business partner? We might have to answer that next time. That's a longer thing. I don't want to rush it. But I do want to say, like, well, Audrey, show off your sleeves of your jacket. This is Audrey's homemade jacket she made. But I feel like, the summation of this little talk is about like alignment. It feels so good. And like communication, trust with your partner, and doing something that feels fun to you, because business is going to be hard, and there's going to be bad moments and hard moments and just like mundane things where you're like, I've logged out of all my accounts again. I can't remember the passwords. So if you're not having fun when you're doing it, it's just going to feel real blah. And like finding something that lights you up. You gotta have fun. Like it should be fun, and all the old business paradigms and all the things about like not having fun and like things that like this is it. It's Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss. But I want to add on to his words of like follow your bliss and follow what makes you belly laugh and what feels like play. Like every time we work together, Audrey, on a new project, I'm like, I can't believe we're doing this where it's like play.
True. We always feel so lucky. Like
yeah.
And we're like, wait, we're making this. This is our job, our life, and we're so grateful.
Yeah. And
show off my jacket.
Show off the jacket. This is Audrey. Audrey, give us a twirl. Work it. Audrey made this. Audrey painted it. See, Audrey's creative. I mean, no joke. And you know what, Audrey, thinking about all the scrappiness that you talked about in the beginning, I had a call with this guy who's like a venture capitalist a few weeks ago about something else that for my old businesses. And he said something, he's like, there's 2 ways of doing business, like the right way and the scrappy way. And the scrappy way is the only way to do it. And I just want to shout that out to anyone who's maybe starting something and they feel so like DIY, or they're like, feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, good. Just do it from there and stay scrappy. It's so important. That also adds to the play. Like if it was perfect, it wouldn't feel like play.
Yeah, true. And also I think it's really important to do something because you really feel like you don't have a choice, in the sense like you have to do it, not in a negative way but in a positive way. Like I can't do anything else in my life but this. And that's how I was as a photographer too. I was like, when I first started doing photography, people were like, thought that artists were like weird. Instagram didn't exist. Photography wasn't cool. It was like
Hi. I think we got cut off, and I think we can go back on. I just wanted to give Audrey a chance to like wrap up what she was saying. And hi.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm still in the YouTubes. Hi, YouTube. I know we got.
Perfect.
Hi, YouTube. Just wrapping up what Audrey was saying about photography. Just following what you have no choice, but like what just wants to move through you. I love that. It was so fun having Audrey on. That's gonna be a regular thing.